resurfacer. Every 20 minutes, play stops and the ice resurfacing machine sets to work, turning the pitted, scarred surface into gleaming, perfectly smooth ice. And as every ice hockey fan will tell you, this legendary but curious machine is known as a Zamboni. And apparently, it's almost as entertaining as the game itself.
It reminds you of like the tradition of hockey. It's something that's always there. You always know the Zamboni's gonna come out. As soon as the intermission starts, the Zamboni comes out.
You can watch the whole thing go around to do the ice and just not even get bored. I've seen it hundreds of times. I've been coming to games and working at rinks my whole life and always enjoy watching the Zamboni.
I find myself watching it, yeah, I do. Even just when there's nothing else going on, I just watch it go back and forth, yeah.
The resurfacing machine looks as if it's just sweeping the ice, but it isn't. As it trundles around the rink, it's doing a lot more. So how does it turn ground-up ice into a rink so smooth you can see your face in it? Our story begins in Los Angeles, California, home of sun, surf, and snow. Here in LA, we find the factory of Frank J. Zamboni and Company, the largest producers of ice resurfacing machines in the world. The Zamboni Company have been making ice resurfacers by hand for over 50 years, though the technology has come along a bit since the early days. Richard Zamboni, whose father Frank invented the machine, is proud to be carrying on a grand tradition, running the firm which still bears the Italian family name.
It's a funny name, a little bit different from anything else, or Smith or Jones or whatnot, but it has really been very nice, associated with a nice product that is out there, and I think it catches people's attention because there's not a lot of other things happening at the same time.
It may be attention-grabbing, but what does this ice resurfacing machine actually do? Surprisingly, even the fans don't seem to know.
I don't know what it does exactly. It makes it so that the players don't get hurt because they're not tripping on ice shavings, I guess.
There are two tools which carry out the job of cutting and removing the ice. First, there's the dangerously sharp blade which shaves the ice. You wouldn't want to touch it. Just look at what it does to this bagel. Then there's the screw conveyor. This spinning screw sweeps the ice shavings up as the machine is in motion. As the resurfacing machine moves forwards, the 2-meter-long razor-sharp edge shaves millimeters off the icy surface, kicking up a fine snow. The amount of ice to be cut is determined by the driver, who can alter the angle and depth of the blade at the turn of a wheel. The snow falls into the screw conveyor and is then channeled upwards into the machine. The snow is collected in a huge metal bin at the front. But removing the ice is just the first step. The Zamboni then lays a new coat of ice back onto the rink, a couple of millimeters thick, restoring the playing surface to its full 2.5 centimeter depth. "76 tiny jets of water spray the ice surface, filling in any pits or cracks and forming a new layer of fresh ice. As the machine travels, it will leave behind it over 500 liters of water to create the new layer. That's like spilling 7 bathtubs of water onto the ice. The layer is spread evenly with a strip at the back, known as the towel. But with such a slippery surface to operate on, why doesn't the ice resurfacing machine skid out of line? The secret is in the tires. Every tire is fitted with special tungsten carbide studs, which help the wheels cling to the ice. Each tire contains over 100 studs, which are painstakingly punched in by hand. The ice resurfacing machine will cover an average of 5 kilometers during a typical ice hockey game, and in the course of a year, it'll travel around 3,500 kilometers. So these studs have an important job to do. Now that its journey is complete, the resurfacer needs to be emptied. On an average journey, the machine will gather up to 680 kilograms of snow. That's the equivalent of over 7,000 ice lollies. Now that we know how the machine works, what's it like to drive one? Raul Lopez has been resurfacing ice rinks for over 10 years and loves to work at the big arenas.
I like the game. I like hockey. I play hockey. And I like to drive the machine because I know it's like a teamwork thing, and I just like making great ice for the players out there.
So if driving an ice resurfacing machine is a privilege, and making one so prestigious, it's no wonder the ice hockey fans are obsessed by what they call the Zamboni.
You can't have hockey without the Zamboni, and you can't have intermission definitely without the Zamboni.
I've even done a tour of the factory that they make them in. I even bought a sweatshirt that has Snoopy driving the Zamboni. I've even driven a Zamboni a couple times at my local ice rink.
I'm crazy about it. Anybody that doesn't like a Zamboni, there's something wrong with them.
Behind the ordinary is the extraordinary. Coming up, the secrets behind mattresses. Next on How Do They Do It? We all do it. On average, we spend 7 hours a day, 106 days a year, 23 years of our lives doing it. And yet 2/3 of us still don't get enough. Sleep. So how can we ensure we get a good night's sleep? The secret may well be found here in Janesville, Wisconsin. This sleepy-looking town is home to one of the largest mattress factories in North America. In this noisy factory, they make 1/3 mattresses every year, and they reckon that the secret of a good mattress is in the springs.
People spend about 1/3 of their lives sleeping, and we really believe that our products deliver a better night's sleep, which obviously has a really positive impact on all of us.
On average, we toss and turn between 40 and 60 times a night, which can be bad news for the person next to us. Over 80 years ago, Simmons introduced the pocketed coil. Here, they're being stitched together to form the base of another new mattress. Each pocket is attached to the others in the middle, rather than at the top or the bottom. So, in theory, if one coil is compressed, it won't pull down the next one. But does it work? Well, that's where this bowling ball comes in. These guys claim that they can drop a bowling ball on one side of the bed without disturbing the pins set up on the other side. So how does the pocketed spring work so effectively? It starts here, with this steel wire. The wire is twisted into a spring by the auto-coiling machine. Each mattress needs almost 1 kilometer of wire. Once converted into a coil, it's cut to length, and then each coil is compressed into its own pocket of cloth. The pockets are then stitched together, creating a long strip of pocketed coils. It takes 850 of these to make just one double mattress. Here at Edinburgh Sleep Centre, they study over a dozen different sleep disorders, of which by far the most common is straight insomnia. In fact, 1/3 of us will suffer from some form of insomnia every year. The right mattress can help sleep to perform its proper function.
There is a restorative function. If you don't sleep, then you have trouble the next day. If your sleep's disturbed, you have trouble the next day.
In Janesville, the 300-strong workforce don't sleep easy unless they know their mattresses are sure to provide a restful night. Each mattress is assembled by hand and takes less than 15 minutes to put together. The final stitching takes place, and the mattresses are wrapped in plastic, ready to make their way to bed stores across America. Behind the ordinary things that surround us in our daily lives are miraculous advances in engineering, which we rarely get to see. Ingenious solutions to problems most of us never knew existed. Since this program began, another 2 lives have been saved by airbags. An ice resurfacing machine has repaired another ice rink. And 13 kilometers of wire have gone into making another 16 mattresses in Wisconsin. Even the most ordinary objects have an extraordinary story to tell. We only have to watch and... behind the ordinary objects that surround us in our everyday lives,